class on micro, small, and medium enterprises. This particular session is the first session of your second unit of this entrepreneurship development program, which includes your basically types of industries, enterprises, and along with that, the types of ownership of those enterprises. So something very interesting about this, and we have been very much acquainted with this MSME, because every time this terminology comes, MSME. So I'm interested to discuss this particular MSME in form of a small amount of input, so that we can understand exactly what MSME means in terms of legal terminology, legal terms. Before starting this particular session, let us go back that in 2-3 decades back, when we started observing this emergence or evolution, you can say, or you can say that the presence of small scale enterprises was felt just after independence. If you go by industrial policies of India, like industrial policy 1956, 77, 80, 84, 91, you will come to know that initially the major focus was on large scale industries, bigger industries. Government was trying to formulate policy to promote the large scale sector, and because of this, small scale enterprises were not given due weightage, and micro industries were almost neglected. But somewhat in 1956 first industrial policy resolution, it was felt that since small medium enterprises comprises more than one third of employment generation, more than one third of revenue generation, more than one third of that economic contribution in terms of taxation and all. So the policy, Indian policy, industrial policy started focusing on small scale promotion. Meanwhile, different governments had focused on policy formulation and policy formulation, direction, and special provisions. And along with that, small scale started getting recognition, importance vis-a-vis large scale sector. Initially, the small scale sector or medium scale sector came into main front of discussion during this mid 70s, and during this period government changed so many policies related to small scale. And if you can correlate with the political change in mid 70s, when Chaudhry Charan Singh came into power, the focus of urban development, large scale development was little bit shifted to the rural development. It is not that small scale, but yes, rural development, from urban to rural. The maximum focus in budget, in policies was given to farmers, to rural development, to rural area. And in that direction, in that way, small scale and medium scale enterprises in rural areas, they were also being promoted. So many different policies like DIC centers, Khadi village industry corporation, Then so many policies were enacted, and then proper definition of small scale, that if uh, this much amount would be invested in plant and machinery, so that would come into small scale definition, small scale category, or micro scale category, or medium scale category. This definition of We will discuss this definition in detail. This definition remains same until this year, 1st of July 2020, with effect. 1st of July 2020, the definition was changed, or not rather changed, but modified. So we'll discuss these things, and this, amount of investment for defining a criteria has been changing continuously after some time duration, and you need to learn what is the updated data. Today I'll give you the updated data in this lecture. I'm not going to give you the previous data right from 50s to 2006, but you can get this data from some site, or maybe msme.gov.in. So if we look by definitions, we can simply understand that Government of India has enacted MSME Development Act 2006. A special act was developed. Before this, micro, small and medium enterprise was defined. There was a definition. This time, 2006, MSME Development Act was integrative act which focused exclusively on MSME sector. And this was done in the previous regime, and they enacted this particular definition, which says which was different for manufacturing sector and different for services sector. Now you need to understand this. The enterprises engaged in manufacture or production, processing or preservation of goods. That means if it is food industry, if you are busy in making papad, so obviously it will come in manufacturing sector. So the label of industry, micro enterprises is an enterprise where investment in plant and machinery does not exceed rupees 25 lakhs. So from 0 to 25 lakhs rupees, micro industry. If the amount of investment is less than 25 lakhs in plant. Now this underlining case is that you must understand that plant and machinery only. And when you consider this plant and machinery cost, it does not include, you cannot use the rent cost. You need to add the original equipment cost, plant cost or machinery cost, even though you may have taken this plant on rent basis. But whether you will be called as a micro industry or not, for that purpose, the plant original installation cost would be taken into consideration. And nothing else, only plant and machinery cost. So it should not be more than 25 lakhs rupees to be called as a micro enterprise or micro industry or micro enterprise. The small enterprise is an enterprise where investment in plant and machinery is more than 25 lakhs but does not exceed 5 crore rupees. That means from 25 lakh rupees to 5 crore rupees, if the cost of plant and machinery, I say cost of plant and machinery is between 25 lakhs to 5 crore, your enterprise will be called as a small scale enterprise. And medium scale enterprise, as written in green, medium scale enterprise is an enterprise where investment in plant and machinery is more than 5 crore rupees but does not exceed 10 crore rupees. Now this thing is very interesting. What happened to those enterprises where the plant and machinery investment increases 10 crore rupees? Obviously, they will be called as a large scale industries. But this gap is 5 crore to 10 crore. Small scale span is 25 lakhs to 5 crore. It means you can understand that the quantum of small scale enterprises vis-a-vis medium scale enterprises. The more and more numbers would fall in small scale category, because the plant and machinery cost is 25 lakhs to 5 crore. Is too much, almost 5 crore, whereas the medium enterprise is also 5 crore to 10 crore. But you can understand why more number may be in a small scale sector, because it is only plant and machinery cost. Suppose if your plant and machinery cost is 5 crore, so you can understand, you can imagine how much investment you need to start a medium enterprise. And then medium enterprise means a sandwich between small scale and large scale, because maximum large scale tried to give this outsourced business to small scale, sometimes medium scale. But medium scale is moreover concerned with the ancillary units which are established by large scale industries in their industrial belt. So they come into this picture. Now this concept, this definition of all these definitions of all the three were of manufacturing sector. If it is of services, for services it is different. A micro industry and enterprise where the investment in equipments, now the plant and machinery, because that was manufacturing. Now it is here that if investment in equipment does not exceed rupees 10 lakhs, look at 25 lakhs, now here is 10 lakhs rupees. So if your investment in equipment does not exceed 10 lakh rupees, then you will be called as a micro enterprise. 0 to 10 lakhs. Now equipment means, suppose you are running a service industry. Say for example, I say you start a car service center or bike service center. So you can understand that in car service center your investment may increase this 10 lakh rupees, and you may fall into small scale segment because you are service provider, you are not manufacturer. You may fall into small scale enterprises where the equipment cost is more than 10 lakhs but not exceed rupees 2 crore. So most of the car service centers, they might be falling into this category in India. I'm just taking example. But in case of a small bike service center, you can start with micro enterprise because the equipment cost would not increase 10 lakh rupees. In any case, equipment cost would not increase. And even equipment cost may be something like 1 lakh rupees or 2 lakh rupees in bike. In advanced cases, yes, you can go to 2-3 lakhs rupees. Like these Castrol and oil and these oil companies have adapted this opening their own service centers for bikes and all. So their cost may include something 5-6 lakhs or 10 lakhs rupees up to, but that also comes into micro enterprise sometime. Medium enterprise in service sector is the enterprise where investment in equipment is more than 2 crore rupees but not exceed 10 crore rupees, and that side it was something different, 10 crore, 5 to 10 crore. These definitions of all these three were of 2006, and 2006 and 2020 there is a difference. So if you look at that, what is new definition, because we are not interested in past definition, new definition is more important. And what is the change in new definition? The change in new definition by this government itself, which was announced in last financial year, and effective from 1st of July to 2020. This you can understand that they added, in definition of all these three, they added the annual turnover also. Look at this, annual turnover. And another major difference they government modified, is that they combined that manufacturing definition with service definition. Now there is no difference in manufacturing and service as a difference in the limit. So now enterprises engaged in production or rendering of services and whose investment in equipment, original cost excluding land and building, furniture, fitting and other items not directly related to service rendered. So it is, we have discussed that original cost is to be taken into consideration while taking this definition. So a micro industry, the limit and the definition modified in 2020 is that micro enterprise is an enterprise where investment in equipment does not exceed rupees 1 crore. That means the micro enterprise, now look back a little bit. A micro enterprise in service where equipment cost was less than 10 lakh rupees, and this became 1 crore rupees. Right? So from 10 lakh to 1 crore, 10 times. Now this definition, and this is for micro enterprise. Look at, as a professional in entrepreneurship, I can understand and I can imagine that if some industry with the equipment cost of 80-90 lakhs rupees, how that industry can be termed as a micro enterprise, because the total cost, if the plant and machinery cost would be 80-90 lakhs or 1 crore rupees, it means the total cost of the project would go by 2 to 3 crore rupees roughly, because land cost is not included and you need to look at the land cost also. So land cost plus land cost will be almost double if you go by this. So roughly 2 to 3 crore rupees investment in plant in total project, and industry is called as a micro enterprise. And when 3 crore investment total project cost, and this thing is added, annual turnover not more than 5 crore rupees. Annual turnover not more than 5 crore rupees. If you simply look at this aspect, and my opinion is that these two data do not integrate with each other. Look at the thing. Someone who has invested 3 crore rupees in industry, 3 crore rupees. So even if you think that maximum 5 crore turnover, if it is more than 5 crore rupees, it will fall into small scale enterprise. So less than 5 crore turnover means, suppose 5 crore turnover. 5 crore turnover means, if roughly you consider that there is a 30% margin profitability. So 30% profitability means roughly 1.5 crore or annual return. So it simply means that in 2 years or 1 year, you will get your investment back. But this 5 crore turnover, initially when you start an industry, it is too much, because achieving this 5 crore turnover is very big game. I am simply, since it is practically applicable from 1st of July 2020. So I'm just looking at these two figures, because when club equipment cost with annual turnover, so you need to look at the other aspects also. That equipment cost 1 crore and turnover 5 crore, 5 times, it does not seems to be very close to each other. But by the way, no issue. But this is the legal definition of a micro enterprise. The small scale enterprise is an enterprise where investment in equipment cost is more than, no, it's not more than 10 crore rupees. So earlier, if you look at the previous cost, in manufacturing, it was 25 lakhs to 5 crore. In services, it was 10 lakhs to 2 crore. Now it is 10 crore up to 10 crore, means 1 crore to 10 crore. Whereas annual turnover is very big thing. Annual turnover is not more than 50 crore. Now again, a small enterprise with 10 crore investment, roughly 10 crore investment, and you consider that the earning would be roughly 50 crore, not more than that. It may go more than 50 crore. It may be possible. There are some industries, small scale enterprises by this definition, because by earlier definition they were considered as medium enterprises. Now by new definition, they have come back to their small scale enterprises now. So by this definition, there may be that they are having more than 50 crore rupees annual turnover, and just to remain a small scale enterprise, not to become a medium scale enterprise because of the benefits and all, they may be following some practices to come down within 50 crore turnover. Medium enterprise, which is considered to be a sandwich enterprise between small and large, is defined as a 50 crore rupees as a plant and equipment cost, and annual turnover not more than 250 crore rupees. Now this is something where you can understand that some of the enterprises which were earlier considered as large scale enterprises, now a big chunk of large scale enterprises have come down into MSME definition. Now here is the main benefit to the large scale enterprises, that earlier they were not getting benefit of MSME scheme, MSME policies, but now they are considered into MSME. So large scale sector, even there are some big Reliance companies, big Tata companies, Tata group companies or Reliance group companies, those companies might be coming into this category, falling into this category, that they have up to 250 crore rupees annual turnover, 240 crore, 200 crore. There are so many, and now they are coming into MSME definition. So we have, by this year, we have increased our span of MSME, medium enterprises, not only medium, micro, small, medium, all MSME, all three. We have increased our span. And obviously, more than 250 crore means large scale sector. This is one of the definition, one of the concept, one of the defining criteria to understand the types of industries: micro, small, medium, large. But in micro, there may be different types of industries, like small scale shop level business, partnership level business, You may form company also, you may form society also. That means based on ownership, this is legal definition, but based on ownership, what kind of ownership structure in this type of enterprise, or in this type of enterprise, or in this type of enterprise, that will be another kind of types of industries, or organizations, that we will look into next class. But this class, my aim was to make you learn that what exactly MSME means, what are the MSME related issues, and how MSME goes along with. So this is all about for today's lecture.